is true. We're back on another episode of Salient Points. This one's number 58 for March 1st, 2022. I don't know if you guys knew, but February only had 28 days. I don't know if that's interesting or not. Just had to throw that in there. I'm Carlos Macias, the Master of Ceremonies here. I think that's the name, possibly. If you guys don't like it, please to tell me. I know Dalan Kirkwood will not waste a second to be offended if I say anything that's offensive to him. Right, Dalan? Dalan, thank you for joining us. All right, from up in the mountains, Dalan Kirkwood. We also got Deo Blas from up in the bay, sir. How are you doing today?
What's up? How you doing, Carlos? What's up, guys?
And thank you for joining us. And we also got Luis Mendez on the wheels of steel. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Super professional.
You were just waiting for me
beer.
You were waiting for me to say some stupid stuff.
Hey, that's how I feel. At some point, we will get back to Seen It, right, Dalan? And I felt pretty good because I definitely was drinking on that podcast. If you guys go and look that up, so I like when someone else is in control because you're like, you know what? I'm not. I didn't mess with you too much though, Dalan. Right? I let you run it. I think for the most part.
Hey, our next Seen It is going to be Uncharted.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Maybe the Batman. Maybe wait to talk about the Batman also. Right?
No, we're gonna do Uncharted first.
Oh, damn. Okay, Dalan. Sorry. Okay.
You have no choice.
Well, look. This last week we've had a couple of nice little game related news. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a little game called Elden Ring that came out. I think that's kind of a new. Was it that we talked about it last week? That it's kind of a nuclear blast. Is Elden Ring that much? Do you guys feel like? It's big, right? But I don't know if it's like the.
Oh, you're talking about the blast radius?
Yeah, the blast. It's not a Call of Duty.
You can't be in the blast radius.
Yeah, it's not like a Call of Duty, right? The games are safe to launch around it, right?
Yeah, this is one of those. This is one of those new IPs, so people were unsure of it, so they still stuck with IPs that they know.
Yeah,
I mean, From Software, they generally make solid games with all their Dark Souls and Demon Souls and stuff like that. But you know, it was a completely new IP of being open world, in a way that they normally don't do it, or at least not that we've seen.
Well, and George R.R. Martin is kind of creating the world of it, right? It's kind of like supposed to be the big deal, which I don't think they've been promoting it that hard.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's a lot of GOAT talk. This is the greatest game of all time. I will be talking about it a little bit more in what you've been playing. But I will say I don't like right at the beginning that you have these scenes, but they're like paintings. They didn't even take the time to let's make beautiful graphics and stuff like that.
No cutscenes.
Yeah, no, there's no cutscenes. There's just paintings, and they're beautiful. They're nice.
Oh,
it's very Game of Thronesy though. It is very Game of Thronesy, so I kind of get the hint of that it's George R.R. Martin behind it.
Wait, is it like the Halo gifts that they have in the background of their stages?
Is it? You talking about the world,
you know how you're running around the world and you try to look out at the scenery, but you could definitely tell that was a photo that they just took a screen print of and just put it.
They're pretty good at it
in
though.
the dome.
I don't like this blasphemy that you're doing to 343 or Bungie though. I don't like that.
No, that was Bungie. I don't think 343 specifically did that, but you pointed it out to me, Carlos.
They have some of the better skyboxes. All right, but look, Elden Ring. They're saying it's the GOAT out here. I'm still, like I said, I'll talk about it a little bit more on the next episode. What you've been playing. I kind of like it though so far. So I don't know. Just to give you guys a little preview, it's a little different than the last one. As far as From Software is concerned, this is their best-selling game to date. So it's doing pretty good. As far as the ratings are concerned, it's the number one highest rated game of all time on OpenCritic. A lot of the reviewers are saying it's a challenging masterpiece. So there's a lot of hype behind it, but you definitely have to like that kind of game. Already it seems like it's a little bit more forgiving. Like I said, I'll talk about that and what you've been playing. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? I guess Deo, is there too much hyperbole? Do you feel like it's just a little too much, or how you been feeling about the coverage?
I feel like there is a little bit of score inflation going on because if you notice the review, a lot of the reviews that are out there, the people that review the game are diehard FromSoft fans or Souls fans. So they know how to play it. And I think it was the GameStop reviewer that specifically said that this game is amazing. It caters to him and his demographic and what he loves playing. But it one of the cons is that it's not accessible. Dark Souls games aren't accessible anyway to begin with.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes with territory. But
That's a sad
like,
thing to say.
yeah, but like if you love that type of game, you're not gonna you're not gonna hate on it. You're gonna absolutely love it. That's the general consensus I hear from everyone.
I will say it does seem already a little bit more accessible than the other ones. It seems like you don't have to backtrack as much, and there's a bunch of like checkpoints
Mhm.
along the way. There's still like
Like when you respawn, it's closer
yeah.
to where you died a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
and there's
checkpoints.
still
So.
like there's still sort of yeah, if you die and like you're like 3 enemies deep, you're like, oh damn, I lost, I have to go grab that. But it feels like it is more forgiving, a little bit more accessible in that way. Dalan, what are your thoughts on the coverage of the game, man? Like, are you hyped for it? You picking it up?
Well, I've been hyped for the past like 2 years, ever since they announced it and showed the horse still jumping vertically. That was like the whole thing.
Oh, I still gotta get to that.
But
That's right.
yeah, you still got to get to that. But the From Software part of it just makes me think that it's going to be a challenging game rather than just a hard game. I think there was a whole conversation we had at one point about Cuphead being hard versus challenging, and I appreciate having a game that is actually challenging, and on top of that, to actually have that whole George R. Martin world thrown in there, because he knows how to tell a story. So it's probably going to be a beautiful high fantasy story that I know you're going to hate, Carlos. You're only going to care about the fact that this horse is jumping vertically. You don't care about the high fantasy. You don't care that there's elves in it. You don't care that there's castles going under siege. But they're doing it in a way that it's just going to become an epic tale. And I know that it is.
No, and it's definitely
But I
high
need to get around
fantasy.
to it.
It's definitely high fantasy. But they gave me the option of a samurai, and I'm very down. I'm very down. I grabbed that samurai.
Oh,
right
you
off the
chose
bat.
samurai too?
I
heard
grabbed
a
that.
lot of
I
people
grabbed
chose
that samurai. Are you hearing good things or bad things? Did I make the wrong decision here, Deo?
Good things, positive.
Okay, because I can long range with the samurai, and I'm swiping at motherfuckers left and right in that game. So it's pretty nice. In
Language,
that way.
sir.
Luis, your thoughts, man? Before I think we're gonna have the technical difficulties because they can't see Dalan, but Luis, what are your thoughts on kind of the coverage of the game, man?
Yeah, I think this is a new case of a lot of hype coming up to. Okay, my mom's calling me randomly. A lot of hype coming up around the game releasing and when it released, and a lot of people kind of got debated like what happened with Returnal, where people didn't understand exactly what it was, and there's a lot of people that came into it without having played any game like that before,
Yeah.
and not enjoying it at all. So yeah, kind of like what Dale's saying is like, I guess those people maybe aren't going in there and reviewing the game, but then you have that sort of scales being tipped over because the people that love that kind of game are giving it high praise. So but yeah, that's really all my thoughts on it. The more I saw about it, the more I thought, you know what? Even though it's got a vertically flying horse, I think I could safely sit this one out.
I will say,
I think I could wait on it. That's what it is.
Look,
I want to play it, but I can wait.
Look,
That's me. Yeah.
Nah, that's not what I said, Dalen.
I know, but I'm just saying that's what I was thinking after you said it.
Look, I actually feel you on that, Luis. I do understand. Like, I will tell you this. So I am on that side of the fence where I don't really like these games. I've tried to like them. I did Neo, I did Sekiro, I did the Demon Souls game. I even did the last Demon Souls for PS5. Each and every one of them, I quit and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This one actually has me like, I want to keep playing. I want to keep kind of messing with it. So if you guys are on the fence, I'm not saying go out and buy it because it's still sort of a hard game, but it seems a little more accessible in that way. It seems just a bit more accessible. We're gonna kind of come back in a moment though. I'm gonna fix Dalen's little technical difficulty. And Luis, do you need to call your mom real quick?
No.
Quick, like, I see you, Luis. I see you. He's doing it off camera. It's a little off-camera action there. We're back from technical difficulties there. So we were just talking about Elden Ring, kind of the coverage on that. The next thing on here, we finally did get some more details on PlayStation Spartacus, which is... we got a couple more details as far as the pricing is concerned. A lot of this is coming from Mr. Jeff Grubb from over there in VentureBeat. He's pretty good, man. He has a lot of inside information, and a lot of things have come to fruition that he says. One of the things that he said is that, so there's going to be 3 tiers, the PlayStation Plus Essential. That's basically what we're paying for now, $10 a month. You get like a few games every month for free. And then there's the Extra Edition, which is $13. You get a downloadable library of PlayStation Now games. Dalan, you disconnected again or did something weird?
I did nothing.
And then there's the premium $16 a month version, which will give you some cloud streaming, classic games, and game trials. That last one seems a little weird. The premium one is like, wait, what are we getting? Cloud streaming? Like, you're giving us xCloud. That's what you're offering and some classic games and game trials, which you've been doing. The last wrinkle in the last few days has been, though, that we're actually getting a game day and date, which I don't know. Dale, maybe you know a little bit more about this, but I don't know if they've done that. So they're going to do Shadow Warriors 3. That's coming day and date on PlayStation Now, right? Like, if you, I think that's the first time they've done it. I don't know if you know, Dale, that if they've done it before.
I don't know if off the top of my head if they've done it before.
The Grand Theft Auto trilogy, no?
Was that on?
It was San Andreas or something.
Yeah.
Vice City.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, San
Okay.
Andreas was there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's right. I just know about the game. That's all I really know about that.
It's basically
Not the
Ninja Duke Nukem, how the homie Jeremy Lowe calls it.
Yeah.
But so what are your thoughts on this, Dave? I guess besides the fact that there's Shadow Wars, some of the reviews are out already, and it's not getting the greatest reviews. So but I heard it's kind of a romp, right? Like a fun romp that if you get it for cheap, it's probably gonna be fun. But what are your thoughts, man, on the different tiers, on the kind of what they're doing with this day and date here thing?
Like it's kind of odd that they put like their less wanted features up in the premium tier, like cloud streaming. Like their infrastructure isn't that good. I've tried doing some like cloud gaming stuff with them before, and it's just like I hate it. I absolutely hate it. The classic games one is interesting though, because the way I don't know how they're going to separate that. Are they going to separate it by generation? Like anything older than the PlayStation 4 generation is what classifies as a classic game.
Yeah.
So then they're charging you the whole, $6 extra.
It's like the Nintendo model in a way, right? It's like
that's exactly what I was
going to
say.
Do you want N64?
Right.
Do you want this other thing? $60 a year or $50, whatever they're charging, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they put it behind this like higher tier paywall in order to access the vintage stuff, which for Nintendo, that it's kind of a shitty practice that they do that. But with PlayStation, it's kind of different. I don't know too many PlayStation, like diehard PlayStation players that really want backwards compatibility. It's kind of 50-50 every single time.
Yeah.
They rather have like the next gen feature upgrades. They don't want anything holding back, and that's why they prefer not to have a lot of backwards compatibility hardware inside of like the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for classic games, it's like, yeah, if you really want to go back and play them, you would most of the time already have the game, and you can find them pretty cheap somewhere else most of the time.
As far as the cloud streaming, you've tried both, right? xCloud and the PlayStation version of it. Is one better than the other, or they're just equally as like not great, or can you tell a difference?
The Xbox one is more consistent, I would say. I have less drops, and it seems to recover from drops a lot faster than the PlayStation one. The PSN one is just like, I don't know, it doesn't work for some of the games on there, with the exception of like turn-based RPGs.
Yeah, it's really weird though, right? Because you always hear about like people online are like, yeah, it's a great experience to do X. It's like it's not. It never has been for me. It really hasn't.
Yeah.
And I think I have decent internet. I think it's like 100 or something. I feel like that should be decent enough for cloud gaming, but apparently not, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, even off of my phone, directly off of my phone, you would think with like 5G, which is faster than whatever wireless connection you normally have, works pretty well. But I don't know what the development is or the networking is required to have a steady connection like that, but it's not as reliable as they say.
Yeah. Luis, your thoughts on this, man, on the PlayStation kind of tiers and the PlayStation Now stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it lines up with what we've been hearing them say that they were thinking about doing, but that looks like it can get pretty pricey. When you have the 3 different tiers, and it looks like it's based off of what you wrote down here. You buy them all individually versus like with Game Pass, you kind of just
I would assume like they kind of stack, right? I would assume like say you get the premium version, you get the other 2. I would assume. They're being extra wacky if it's like 16, 13, and 10, right? I gotta assume. We got to be able to assume, right, that $16 a month and you get everything else.
Yeah, I guess there's still hope. It's Sony. It's not Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see how much validity there is to these claims. But
wasn't Xbox essentially doing this, though?
What?
Yeah.
They're sort of still doing it, right? Because there's gold, and then there's Game Pass Ultimate, and then the PC version or something like that, right? But
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think it's just maybe you just understand that you're getting Game Pass Ultimate or whatever, right? Or Dale, you had some thoughts on that Xbox is being wacky as
No,
well.
it's. I mean, this looks similar, and Xbox has been doing something like this, but this looks more like Nintendo. The way that it's structured to me, anyway. Well, the exception of Nintendo only has, is it like 2 tiers or just 1 tier? Is it 1 tier?
I think
forget.
it's
got two
They're
tiers.
getting
It's
extra.
It's just the number of months that you get. So
Yeah.
you get your 1 month, 3 months, or whole year, or you can get your what is the new thing called, the Nintendo Online Plus Ultra
Pass.
package.
Expansion pass. Or
It's the
something.
expansion pass,
For
and that
random
one you
games.
have to get in a full year. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, it's getting pretty damn wacky, man. They gotta look. They gotta. Sony has plenty of games, right, to give us and to give us a chance to try out, but. I mean, Shadow Warriors 3, that's kind of what they're pushing out. And like Luis mentioned, they did give us Vice City at one point as well. Like, but Game Pass, look, you're getting Horizon. You're getting Flight Simulator. You're getting Halo Infinite day one. Until we get an Uncharted, until we get like one of those big tier Naughty Dog games or a Horizon, this is like Shadow Warriors 3. I mean, I'm sure people will have fun with it and they'll like it, but, you know. Dalen, before we move on, man, any final thoughts? Oh, go ahead.
Got a service.
Yeah, final thoughts is, Dale, I'm going to hit you up. What do you mean people don't want to play classic games on this thing? Because I'll tell you right now is people want to play their PS3 games that you can't play anymore unless you have a PS3 or earlier. Because I'll tell you right now, I just had some homies over and we really wanted to play some Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I didn't want to go out of my way to go grab my PS3 or grab my PS2. Exactly. But the point being is that there's still plenty of good games that were on PS1 and PS2 that are still fully playable. That includes at this point PS3, but we can't do it unless we have those older systems now. We want our system to be backwards compatible to everything. Backwards compatible everything. That's
just
what
pull out your
wish.
PlayStation 3, Dale.
That's why I wish. Right, I wish PlayStation Now had. I mean, they have PlayStation 3 games on there, so that's. I'm glad that they do that. But there's like a very vocal, like, contingent or community that I follow on Twitter, and they're just like, no, keep that backwards compatibility stuff like off of this. Focus on like AAA titles. Keep the bangers coming out. You know, like we want the Naughty Dogs, we want the Horizons, we want all of that stuff coming out. Don't ever go back in history because all the older games are jank, even though they're valuable, especially to us who've been playing games for a long time.
It's not like you're telling companies to stop building games. What they would be saying to their players is, we didn't forget about you. We finished these games already. We're just gonna upload them so you can play them, but then we're gonna go work on stuff. I mean, that's not a bad thing to have.
It is a matter of like resources, right? Like it's kind of, but I mean, it's they're just bringing.
You tell me
forward.
Sony don't got the resources to do that.
They're just kind of making it. They're emulating it, right? And they're gonna have issues like the N64 expansion pack. Apparently, Nintendo can't even do N64 emulation correctly, and then they'll update it. But that's it for PlayStation Spartacus, man. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what comes of it. It's coming up. It's coming up pretty soon. Another thing that's coming up is there's a new Pokemon, as I put here, the new Pokemons. It's called Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's the 9th generation of the series. They're targeting a late 2022 release, which I was thinking Arceus was like they're still thinking that's like a side thing, I think, because they're like, nah, we're gonna give you something else at the end of this year. Fans are apparently convinced that it was hinted at back in 2019 with Sword and Shield, so people are digging up crap right from everywhere. They're like, wait a minute, they already told us about this. And so Scarlet and Violet is supposed to be an open world game where, quote, where various towns with no borders blend seamlessly into the wilderness. That's from Axios. A spokesperson told Axios that the company kept the event low-key because they wanted to, quote, to be sensitive to major world events happening at this time and those impacted. Ukraine versus Russia, in case you guys are not following that kind of stuff. Quote, a pre-scheduled Pokemon Presents was unable to be postponed. Out of respect to our global audiences, we decided to significantly reduce the promotion of the event while giving fans the option to tune in if they choose to do so. Luis, what are your thoughts on this, man? Whether it is like how they're rolling it out, or just are you just hyped for a new Pokemon game?
I don't know. I don't want this to be the new like Nintendo's like Call of Duty franchise, because they're releasing one every single year now.
This one's two
and it,
times in a year, right? With Arceus and this one, but this was a mainline
yeah,
one, I suppose.
yeah, I guess. But it does seem like they've been building up to what their idea of this one is from Sword and Shield. They've sort of been ramping up to that open world, and they expanded upon it with Arceus. So, and I already liked Arceus' approach to open world, but it did have its kinks, I guess. Like it needed to be fleshed out a little bit more. So hopefully they improve upon that on this new version. But yeah, that's really all.
Now, is there something from you did play the last ones, right? Sword and Shield, and like you said, you're playing Arceus. Is there something that they haven't done in Arceus that you're like, okay, well, I kind of miss this from Sword and Shield that you look forward to for these?
I don't miss anything from Sword and Shield.
Okay,
no.
okay, gotcha. I like it. I like it.
That game was very, very all right.
But they're sort of hinting as in, because that's like the traditional form of Pokemon, right? Sort of, kind of, it's sort of 3Dified and all that. But you're going for badges and you're doing all this stuff that's considered traditional Pokemon. I think they're kind of saying that they're doing this, right, or doing that with this new one. But I'm sure with some more. So we'll see. We'll find out, right? Deo, any thoughts before we move on from this new Pokemon's announcement?
Like, they're releasing so many that I get really confused. I thought that the last one, Arceus, was like a mainline game. Are they all made by Game Freak? Or are they all just like
the same
like
80
different
people
companies making these
no,
games?
the same 80 people
Oh
at Game
God.
Freak are making multiple Pokemans. That's kind of what they're up to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because I was trying to like, was that Pokemon Eevee and Pokemon Pikachu, was that like a mainline game or no? I get
See, that's why I'm saying,
You know
like,
what I'm talking
Arceus seems like it's supposed to be like, look, we're just kind of messing with the formula. Don't take it so serious. I think it's kind of what we're getting from, like, the fact that they should have been like, no, the next Pokemon is next year, right? Arceus is our big game. But the ones you mentioned are kind of, like side stories. We even had a new Pokemon Snap, right? So
Right.
there's definitely a whole bunch of stuff going on in the Pokemon world. But yeah, so they did announce that. Look forward to. Pleased to look forward to later on this year. Dalan, I see you threw in a kind of a big news to you this past week. What was pretty big for you this past week, man? Something about Facebook? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, something about Facebook. Well, yeah, what turned into Meta. But as soon as they ended up rebranding as Meta, not too long thereafter, Facebook ended up losing nearly $500 billion since rebranding as Meta, which is a huge number, especially even for Facebook. Zuckerberg, for whatever reason, is still encouraged to continue on after Meta itself loses $200 billion just in the market value, and it sent the shares for Facebook plummeting by 20% immediately after release. And I think that was a crazy thing. And everybody was wondering how it was actually going to roll out when he actually decided that he was going to rebrand it as Meta. How do you guys feel about this now that you have the metaverse and all this crap running around out there?
For me, it's just lore, man. I know you kind of get into
Did you
this
see
lore
it
stuff.
coming though? But did you see it coming?
I don't know. It's a big company. They have a lot of money to kind of throw at things. It's fine. I mean, there's going to be a backlash. They got to expect a little backlash. But look, we do have someone that's from the Silicon Valley, right? Dale, you have any insight into this? You got any insight into this, possibly?
Silicon Valley, all right.
I mean, I don't know. Like Facebook, I've kind of distanced myself from them like a lot. Like I deleted all my Facebook stuff and Instagram. Well, I haven't deleted my Instagram, but like I don't hop on there as much anymore, socially wise. I mainly stick to Twitter nowadays. But I'm surprised that they lost that much like market cap, because when Google rebranded to Alphabet, like they just like stagnated for like 3 weeks and then like kept on trucking by. So it's weird that they lost so much.
Well, but the Google thing, it's not. I guess the equivalent would be like Google instead of Google.com, it's Alphabet.com, right? The Alphabet is kind of more on the background, right? It's the parent company, right?
Yeah,
Of Google, where
right.
this is like
Umbrella
we
company.
are
It
meta
was
now.
this was the face.
We are meta now. Like this is
The
this
face
is it's more front
changed.
facing, right?
And
Well,
part of the reason I even thought about this was because they were also talking about doing the VR games through Facebook and Meta. And I was thinking, with this much of a loss, do they still want to move forward with this?
I think they will.
Oh
honestly.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like
they
they're
gotta double down.
they're willing
at
to
this point,
bank on
yeah.
that because
They're gonna
they
double down.
Dude, a lot of like VCs, like venture capitalists, really want this whole metaverse thing to happen because it's like just a whole new form for them to hide their money or become rich.
Yeah.
That's the only way they really want to do it.
There's gonna be
So-
drug deals made in the metaverse.
Okay, Dalan.
Swear, man.
Okay, reasonable, Dalan.
Swear.
Reasonable.
Dude, it's like remember PlayStation Home when they had that? They're like someone like it got knurled into his brain that he's like, oh, I could do this, but like way better, and I can make tons of money off of it. So I think he's willing to invest. I don't know if that stock price is because of they're getting sued a lot too. Actually, right now, Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what I've been reading.
There's a lot going on.
Like class action lawsuits going on. So
yeah,
I don't know.
that's just the stock, right? The stock. That's why these evaluations can kind of go all over the place, right? It changes like the stock changes by $1. Like they just gained $20 billion. It went down 50 cents. They just lost $15 billion. So it's just stock. It's just stock.
It's violent,
stuff,
man.
yeah.
A quarter could make a whole difference.
Yeah. Luis, it's volume, Dalan. Luis, you work kind of in this space. You're still working in this space, right? And I don't mean to, you don't need to get into too many details, but any thoughts on this, I guess, for you?
Yeah, I honestly, even before I started working at this company, I don't even really feel like I follow Facebook news that closely, but they've been hinting at this move for years, like for a very, very long time. So I don't know why people were really that surprised. Even going as far as like when they started going further into AR, like they already started hinting at that and kind of even saying like we already envisioned this world.
Yeah.
And honestly, even with them changing it all really is just a name change for the umbrella company. Everything else remains the same, I guess, except for MetaQuest is the only thing that changed the name on there. But Instagram, Facebook are the same, WhatsApp is the same, and then they just kind of split up all their businesses into other umbrellas. But I guess a name change is enough for people to freak out about it. So
Yeah.
they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
And
whatever.
I think like what you're saying, they've been hinting at it, and I think people that are kind of follow it a little closer, right? But I think like the moms and the grandmas is like, huh? Like
the boomers,
I think
boomers
that's
are getting scared.
I think that's who trips out, right? Like they don't understand. Like
I don't even know if they're aware,
Yeah.
honestly.
But when
they might not know.
yeah. So,
Because all it says is you open the app and it says Facebook from Meta or Instagram from Meta or whatever. So like I don't think they have any clue that anything's changed unless they're like looking at the news.
yeah, and that's the way to kind of do it, right? To them, it's like they hope people are sort of oblivious.
Because it's not like you're going to meta.com, it's still facebook.com.
Oh, that's when the grandmas will trip out, dude. They're like, huh? Meta.com. I guess I gotta go there now. But I will sell my stock. So Dale, the big thing.
Sell my stock.
Dale, the big thing for
Take my
you,
ball and I'm going home.
we're finally getting Gran Turismo 7 this week. Now, I don't know if you heard, Dale, but these things have been coming out early. Amazon has been shipping these games copies out early. Did you happen to get one early yourself?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want to get any spoilers
Okay.
from
Yeah.
from the game.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get one. I'm jealous, but no, mine. I think mine's coming in on Friday. I think that's what it.
Did you
shipment
did
says.
you get it through Amazon though, or is it through Amazon?
Target?
Okay.
I got it through Target. So
Okay.
because I had a gift card for Christmas, so I bought Horizon and GT7 at the same time.
Okay, gotcha. Now, Dale, I don't know if you know, out in LA, there's some street breaking stores out there. Nobody listens to this, so they don't know. I won't give any details. Is there any street breaking stores up there by the bay? Do you know of any game stores that do some street breaking?
Oh, yeah. There's a couple in South Bay that
Okay.
because they're small.
Yeah.
Like no one really cares.
No one's gonna
about
rat
them.
them out either, right? Like it's like
Right.
just
And there's not that many of them. So yeah, like everyone mostly goes to the big box stores here or they shop online. So these guys they're like, no, come over here. We'll give it to you for like 3 days earlier or whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever they get the shipment.
There's no deals. There's no credits. You're paying full price for that early copy.
right.
You're paying
Yeah.
that full ass price. So you haven't. You're a big racing fan, right? A racing game fan.
Yeah.
You
Sim racing fan.
you didn't think of canceling your Target order and be like, Amazon send me a copy. You didn't think about that one?
No. I'll respect the day. Mainly because I'm still trying to finish all these other games too. So I'm like, just keep it on the back burner for now. I'm gonna try to finish as much as I can within the next like few days. And then I'll get around to it.
And
like
you still got the goat, and you still got the goat to get around to. All right.
Yeah, I have Elden Ring like the collector's edition sitting in my like office right now, but like I haven't even opened it up yet because I'm just like trying to finish all this other stuff.
Did it at least come with the copy of the game? I hope it at least came with the copy of the game. Okay, got it. Because they'd be bullshitting.
Not like that Horizon thing. No, the
bullshitting.
Horizon collector's editions didn't even come with that shit.
That's terrible, man. Dalan, what are your thoughts on this, man? That GT7 is kind of coming out early. You have a couple thoughts here before we move on.
It always cracks me up when any game breaks street date, but I'm always like, man, where was I? How come I didn't get a copy?
Yeah, for real.
They do this every so often, and I know at Amazon, I think the Miles Morales, I got like a couple days early or something like that. I didn't even have a PlayStation. I was like, oh, well,
you wanted to drive far to go get it. You were hitting me up saying, Dalan, you coming with me?
For Miles Morales, no. I think it's been for some game. I'm sure I've hit you up for like a game. I don't think it was for that one. That one did come early, like a few days early. So every so often you hear like Amazon. I wonder how that happens though, right? It's got to be like someone's not paying attention. It's like, get these out. Get them as soon as possible.
Do they have stickers on them still? Because I remember they used to have stickers saying like "Do not open until like so and so date" or something.
I don't know if I've ever seen that like on an Amazon one because I think that's probably a little different, right?
Well,
but in the stores you'll get it. I think Halo. The cat helmet one, it said on there like don't open till whatever 2007. I was like, well, I opened it, so I'm in this. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think like Polyphony is that or Sony are like, oh no, take those back. What do you guys do? I'm pretty sure they're just hyped to get the game out there right after so long. So moving on, we got the quick takes. Apparently, the Valve CEO Gabe Newell was personally delivering Steam Decks to people this past week. So he was delivering to people's like actual addresses, and apparently they were free. So if you ordered it, you pre-ordered it, he personally delivered it to you, and he was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got you. Not only that, though, and I do like that we got Wario64 out there just investigating, or he found it on the internet. But apparently someone recognized Gabe walking around. It was like, hey, you're Gabe Newell. It's like, yeah, I am. Do you want a Steam Deck? So I'm pretty sure people appreciate the fact that they couldn't get this fucking thing. And Gabe Newell is like, hey, Gabe. And he's like, I got you. I hope people appreciate that. But yeah, as far as the Steam Deck is concerned, he's been saying that demand is, quote, a lot higher than expected. And he sees the deck as having the same impact as the iPhone in the PC space. And there's also a dock plan for late spring. We'll go with Luis for this one first, man. What are your thoughts on this? Whether it's Newell or just the Steam Deck release that is kind of finally dropping out here.
I put no here, man.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. Dalan, your thoughts? That was actually my bad. Sometimes it's not my bad. That one is.
Wires get crossed, things happen.
Dalan, your thoughts on this one?
I think it's funny that he's just out there walking around just handing out Steam Decks just randomly. You spot this man, ask him for something. He'll just hand you like candy. But really, it only made me think of the fact that, damn, the Steam Deck is not going to come with a deck, and that's kind of a sad thing for me. I want the whole package. That's period. I want the whole package. It is a mobile PC, and I'm happy that it's a mobile PC, and I'm ready to put some emulators on it. But I also want to be able to play it on my TV.
Okay. Yeah. It is a little weird, right? Especially because they're not that cheap. I think the cheapest one you can buy is like $400, right?
400.
Yeah. So it's like it should come with the dock, but I guess it's coming. And but it is kind of cool. The video is out there of him kind of delivering this thing, so you guys can see it. It's like a 4-minute video. And apparently he gets emails. He kept giving everyone his email. He's like, this is my email. And he checks it. He's talking about he gets hundreds of emails, thousands of emails, and he reads them. And I was like, it's kind of crazy. Dale, your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, Newell's he's like a rock star now. He can do whatever he wants, honestly.
He's like the fun CEO. He's what Jeff Bezos should have been.
Right. Okay, he just walks around doing his own thing. He don't care. Yeah. It's funny because I didn't see the video, but I saw the picture of Gabe walking around, and he just looks like a homeless guy, like with like these Steam Decks in his arm, and just giving out to people.
Yeah.
Although I think he lost some weight, but Like I wouldn't go up to him and be like, "Hey, are you Gabe Newell?" Because he doesn't look like Gabe Newell. Like he looks like.
And the
something
mask
else.
kind of fits him a little weird too, right? I don't know if you saw
Right.
the mask fits him a little weird, so it's kind of like okay. But I would go up to him, man. I'd be like, hey,
I would go up to him if I saw someone with a Steam Deck box in their arms. I'd be like, "Where did you get that? How much do you want for that one? Like right now?" Because I'm kind of hyped on it. Honestly,
you're still waiting on yours. You did order one.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get that email, which
Okay.
allows you to order your thing. So I have the pre-order down, but I don't have an order yet.
So
because I'm in Q2, so I won't be able to do it till like April or something.
And you still gotta like finalize it or something, right? It's not just automatically gonna ship to you. You gotta finalize it and actually get charged for it. I'm assuming. Right. Or something.
Right.
Which version did you go for? Which
the lowest tier version, the $400 version.
But there's
it comes with like a slower, like it doesn't even have an NVMe drive. But I was waiting for prices for those to drop so then I could just upgrade it myself.
Yeah. It's definitely it seems like it's getting some good reviews, right? Like it seems like people are having fun with it. It runs Elden Ring, so it runs the quote unquote GOAT.
And Forza Horizon 5.
There you go. So I'm a little hyped for it. I think my brother's getting one for his niece, my daughter. So I'm gonna like grab that thing and be like, Lily, you don't need to play this right now. Jonathan, I don't think he listens. Actually,
same for you.
Actually,
this is for Papa until you get old enough.
I think Jonathan, my brother, is one of the. He actually does listen consistently. He's like, wait, no, that's for Lily, man. So he might be hitting me up out there. But yeah, so it seems like it's a cool little device. It still looks a little humongous, so I'm still kind of interested to kind of get hands on. But as far as I understand, people are having a good time with that. Besides that, they've been talking about that Valve has no plans for the Steam Deck to have a subscription service at this time, which of course they're kind of thinking Game Pass, that kind of thing. But Newell did say that he's willing to help Microsoft bring PC Game Pass to Steam, so that would be kind of cool, man. At that point I'd be kind of hyped where it's like, oh, okay, so I really can play my Game Pass stuff. It will be the one item I carry in my backpack, or I gotta lug it around.
He's like, I don't need anything else, just
but
this.
I don't need anything else for my job or anything, or I don't need to put fit lunch or nothing in there. This is just my deck now because I'm gonna play Game Pass. But that seems kind of cool. Yeah, so Valve is not working on that, but it's cool that he's like, yeah, bring it on the Game Pass to Microsoft or to the deck.
The man is open to new ideas.
Dalan, your thoughts on that, man? That he's like he's down to bring the Game Pass over.
That was the thing. He's just open to new ideas, and that would be an excellent thing to have, is a mobile Game Pass, because we got our Xbox, it's sitting still. We got our PC, generally it's sitting still. But you put that on a Steam Deck, you're just gonna make more money.
Yeah,
that would be a great deal. Period.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll get like a little cut. I don't know how it works now, because it literally is like Steam on the mobile thing, right? I don't know if it's separate from getting like a cut or anything like that. So that'd be kind of interesting.
I heard basically just a desktop that is mobile.
Yeah. Dale, your thoughts before we move on as far as like Game Pass coming to the deck?
Yeah, I think it's a great move. If especially if Xbox wants to, expand the Game Pass service to other consoles or devices, which is I'm sure that's their end game right now. They're going to try to get you on a tablet trying to play Game Pass games, or on your phone, and the Steam Deck is just another vector for them. They should definitely do that. And it's cool that Gabe is just open to that. Like, he probably just, puff pass, like, oh yeah, let's put that Game Pass on there.
Just do anything you want. Throw that on there. Yeah. AR, VR, whatever. Working on Half-Life 3 though, I got some deliveries to do.
They don't like threes, man.
Yeah, they don't like
trilogies.
Threes. They don't like trilogies apparently. But so next up on here, we got a couple more details on the PlayStation VR2. We kind of got a look. We saw the controllers, looked a little orby. I guess it's like an orb shaped kind of controller. And the headset, it kind of looks about the same as the PSVR, the original one. It still has a cable hanging off the side of it, but they got a tether to it, right? Luis, your thoughts, man, on kind of us getting a closer look at this thing.
Rip in peace the Move controllers, man. No, so like I developed.
That's gonna be the end of that. That's all she wrote. Just.
I guess technically I developed 2 games on PSVR, but really mainly one. That thing was not fun to work with, man. That was a very hard platform to develop for. So I'm hoping that now with that leveraging the power of the PS5. Hopefully, it's a lot easier. And I mean, those controllers look pretty nice, similar to the
Yeah.
Quest.
Yeah.
The headset, like you said, does look pretty similar, but it looks like they may have updated the sensors and the actual like lenses. But I know you're probably a little triggered that there's still a cable in the back. I know you wanted a little
Yeah.
wireless connection.
Triggered.
That's not gonna happen for a while,
Yeah.
man. That's not gonna happen for a while. But it is what it is.
Well, and I think you brought it up before, right? They're trying to kind of harness the power of the PS5, right? They need that kind of cable going towards it, because if you want the best looking games, like say even on the Quest, right? If you want to make it into a Rift or whatever, you need to plug it into a computer, right? So that's not running like the best graphics and all of that. But at the very least, the controllers are looking a little better. Do you think part of the development nightmare, that if you want to call it that, was the fact that you were using old 2002 technology with the Move controllers? Or I know it's not 2002, but
That
it's
didn't
old.
that didn't help. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was mostly just the the amount of room we had to work with to make that thing work. And like passing Sony's TRCs are really, really hard. Basically, you submit an app and they say, "Oh, it failed here.
Yeah.
You have to resubmit." It was really hard, man. It was like, because we're like, okay, we're trying to make this thing run, but we're dropping frames just like looking through a pane of glass. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and definitely it's the controllers, but like the tech does look a little more questy. And they did say that it's not gonna need a camera, which the Quest doesn't need a camera. So it doesn't look like it's gonna have a big old light, right? Like you're gonna light up like you did with the PlayStation VR 1.0.
Right.
Deo, your thoughts on this, man? Are you kind of hyped for it now, or?
I'm excited. I really hope, like I said, I've never owned the PlayStation VR, but I have a ton of games for it. I really hope it's backwards compatible, because I don't want to buy like a bunch of those old ass Move controllers. I hated those things.
Yeah.
But looking at the hardware, this looks kind of like pricey to me. Is this gonna be like $500?
They haven't said the price, right? I think the original was like 400. I think it was like
Starting,
400.
yeah.
So
400.
yeah, man. I definitely, I remember you mentioned this
If
before.
it saves me $100 being cabled with a cable in the back, that's fine. I will pay the.
Yeah.
I will save the $100. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I hope it's backwards compatible, man. If they don't, they're really messing up. They need to figure out how to, like, okay, it's not a Move controller from this tech from 2006, but they should be able to map it. They should be able to map it, right? Is that real quick before we move on to Dalan, Luis? Would that be hard to move the same technology that we're using from the Move controllers to this Orb version? Do you think that would require a lot of work?
I'm
Would you
not
want
sure.
to?
I don't know if it would require an update or not, because unless they do something in the framework that just registers the controller movement the same. But yeah, that might require developers to sort of tap in and say, we want to update it to work with this hardware. But yeah, I'm not sure.
So we'll see, right? I mean, the easiest way would be that Sony comes up with the solution that works across the board. Like you were saying, it's recognizing the same movements, but now with the Orb, right? That would be the best way.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't blame developers for like, you guys are screwed, man. Go play it. We sold 10,000 copies of that game. We're not going back and updating it, right? Like I would assume.
Yeah.
Dalan, before we move on, man, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, they took that stupid thing from PS3 to PS4, so I don't think they need to continue that tradition. But I do have the question, because I'm not sure, and I didn't actually look at all the parts that really come with it, because I know for the PSVR 1 that originally it had a bunch of wires. Then they went down to one wire, but they had the stupid box with like 5 wires in it that encompasses my PS4 as we speak. I'm wondering, is this just a singular wire that'll just plug right into the
That's what they
PlayStation,
said.
and that'll be the end of it?
That's what they said. That's what they said.
Do I have to use the HD PS5 camera that came out that I never got in the mail?
That's the idea, Dan. They said that it's gonna be a single cord solution. Like I said, the Quest is a no cord solution.
Whoa. Single cord solution doesn't mean that they don't have to use a camera.
No, they already said it's not gonna require the camera. And like
then why do they even have that camera on sale then?
Because they want you to buy it, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
What are you gonna use it for now?
To stream
Nothing.
games, I guess. If you want to play games.
No.
I guess if you don't want to do that, then I'm sorry that you don't want to do that.
I guess you can use it as a Twitch streamer or something like that. That would probably be a good reason to use it. But if that's the case, just keep your PS4 camera.
But look, let's be honest though. Let's be honest though, Dalan. They're probably like, this thing is like they're riding like, what is it, by the seat of their pants or whatever. They're like, we might need this camera.
By the seat of their pants.
Thank you. Look, Dalan, thank you. The white phrases, man, you got me every single time. So they're flying by the edge of their seat of their pants.
You still said it very wrong.
And I'm pretty sure they were like, we're not sure about the PSVR2. We might need a camera. And then they said, like, no, we don't. But shut up about it. Dalan will still buy the camera at some point.
Shut up about it.
So,
I'm going to call you out, PlayStation.
Yeah. But they already said.
You're getting us. You're getting people.
They already said it's a single cord solution, right? Like I said, the Quest is a no cord solution. So the one cord is to kind of tap into the power of the thing. Next up on here.
Would it be egregious to call them rip-off artists?
I mean, you can. I mean, look, it's really how you feel, Dalan. At this point, it's
do
really
what you want.
You do what you want.
Do what you want. PlayStation and this camera thing, rip-off artists. The Kinect on Xbox, rip-off artists. Nintendo and their expansion pass, rip-off artists.
Online.
Hey, the Kinect is doing some shit. At
Pokemon games, rip off. You have to buy 2 of them.
Rip off artists. Destiny, I love you, Bungie, for making Destiny for us. But this whole expansions thing, you're doing too much. Rip off artists.
Wow, Dalan, you said it. You said it, man. But hey, the Kinect is at the Guggenheim or wherever, one of the museums. It's doing its thing. It still exists somewhere. Give it its props, Dalan. They did rip.
There are so many rip-off artists now. You used to call EA a rip-off artist. Yes, they had their ways of doing things, but man, I'm looking at Rocket League right now. $20 for a skin, rip-off artist.
Dalan, are we talking about that EA Online Pass that they did for a couple years? We talking about that online pass?
Like, still rip-off artists. Everything. There's so many rip-off things out there. But
Dalan, guess what? You know who's not trying to rip you off? Maybe, sort of. I guess we'll find out. The Call of Duty, we're gonna have a skip in the Call of Duty calendar apparently. So Treyarch's 2023 game. Well, yeah. So the Treyarch was gonna make the next Call of Duty after this year. We're getting one this year, right? But the next year's Call of Duty is actually getting delayed to 2024, and this will be the first time in 2 decades that the franchise will have skipped a year. Luis, your thoughts on this, man? That they're trying to not rip us off maybe for a year.
They're trying to bounce back from the last Black Ops and Vanguard. I mean, because really, those games came out and people still ended up going back to Modern Warfare, the 2020 version. So yeah, maybe they just said, all right, let's do a full reset. Let's try to get this right. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping the 2022 Modern Warfare comes out because I'm actually kind of excited for that. Still playing the old one on occasion. But
it'll be Sledgehammer, right? I guess this year, right? This year's edition should be Sledgehammer.
Maybe
or Infinity Ward if they exist.
I would have assumed whoever's associated with the Activision team, which I think is Infinity Ward. I'm not sure.
But it really
no. Infinity Ward did the last one. Did Vanguard?
Oh,
okay.
So it has to be
Sledgehammer
Raven or
Raven.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah, it might be Raven. I would assume Raven.
But I'm going to call it way ahead of time, rip-off artists. I saw how Call of Duty Warzone was going, and you had to buy a pack for a single individual weapon build. That's what you needed it for. And they had like 27 builds, and they all cost like $10 or $12.
You know, you don't have to buy those, right?
I know you don't have to buy those, but they try and entice you. They're basically, they're trying to get you. They're trying to get you, rip-off artists.
Wow.
Dalan, you need to get off that soapbox, man.
I know. Really
I'm on the soapbox. I'm going to ride that till the wheels fall off.
You're on the
soapbox does.
I know Dalan. He will fucking do it, dude. He will do it. What he just said, he will do it. He has no shame. But don't, Dalan. But just don't. So
it's going to come back. It's going to make it come back.
So it really took like a game to like flop, right? Like, it really took Vanguard, like it did that badly, right, for them to be like, all right, let's come back to the drawing board where we did something wrong here. We did, and I
mean, yeah, it's the first time it's ever happened to them, right? Even though I'm sure it still sold pretty well, but not based off of their standards. Similar to like Steph Curry when it was on his shooting slump, like he's still doing pretty well, but it's not Steph Curry, shooting, right?
That's a shot at
Dale. So the NBA talk in there.
That's a shot at Dale, but I approve of that.
A little bit.
But yeah, so it is one of those things where like this got them to do it. And Vanguard was, to me, I played the campaigns. It was okay. They've had some crappy years, and it really took them to be like, I think, you know what it was? It might have been like it was a consecutor, right? It might have been Cold War didn't do so well, and then Vanguard, and that was kind of like the straw, right, that broke the camel's back. I hope I got that phrase right, Dalan. I hope I could get a confirmation.
Did.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you for that. But I think it was like a consecutive years where they're like, gotta do something about this, right?
And you know who else had that same thought? Assassin's Creed, and they came back strong. So I'm hoping that they could actually do a new build. And I know I brought this up before, but I'm hoping that they could actually do a new build that feels a little more fresh. You know, keeps to the original core that is Call of Duty, but you know, make a new mechanic. I mean, they were the ones that really popularized the season pass thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm hoping.
Was it Fortnite?
So I'm hoping.
Fortnite popularized a lot of crap. Even if you guys don't play it or don't like it, I mean, they did a lot of stuff.
No, it was the experience thing. It was the experience leveling up thing.
It was like double XP weekends, and then they had like the expansion packs for like certain maps. I remember that from like Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like Modern Warfare did that, and people just wanted to play that just so they could hit like level 100 or whatever. And then Fortnite ended up following the model, and then they ended up doing the season passes.
But
my point being,
the season
is that
passes
if they
is more Fortnite, I think, but DLC, yes, Call of Duty.
But they just need to take a step back, reevaluate what they've been doing, and come out with a good version of their game. Halo did it, and we got our Halo Infinite. I'm happy with that.
That's pretty nice.
So hopefully they do the same thing. They actually stop, look at their game, and say, you know what? Let's not do the same thing that we've been doing every single year.
Dalan's definitely on a soapbox, as you can see on the rundown, Dalan.
On the soapbox till the wheels fall off.
Let's see if you'll be on a soapbox about this next thing, Dalan. This one's for you. So Twisted Metal TV series is going to land on NBC's Peacock service, and Anthony McKay is starring, which I think Mackie. Thank you, Dalan. Please. So and he was Captain Falcon or one of these guys, right?
That was right. But that's why I was like, why are you saying his name so wrong?
So what do you think, man? I like it though. I like him as an actor. I think he'll be doing all right. I can't pronounce his name apparently, but I think he could do good as a Twisted Metal character. Apparently he's gonna be he might be the clown or something or some kind of crazy.
No, he's gonna be some new random character. That's what it is. He's gonna be somebody I never heard of, and I was hoping he was going to be Axel, but that didn't happen. But I'm wondering how
beautiful character work right there. So beautiful. Let's make a guy with two tires.
The dude that like holds the wheel.
That's all you need.
Hey, I hope you get the genius of that, Dale. Axel. Get it? He's Axel.
He's the Axel.
Oh damn, dude! The play on words, just
the 90s.
Just
Sweet Tooth being an ice cream truck. What?
I mean, the wordplay. David Jaffe, you did some work there. You did some work, man. So you're hyped about it, Dalan? I'm assuming a new Twisted Metal.
I don't think we're gonna have the classicness that made Twisted Metal the excitement that it was, because all we were doing was going out there and we're destroying people's cars with our ricochet bombs that we saw bouncing off of every freaking wall and putting in our cheat codes like right down in order to make our car jump 50 feet in the air or whatever it was. We can't do that on a TV show. And it's not going to translate the same way. Yeah. It's basically going to turn into Death Race. That's what it's going to turn into. I don't think it's going to come out like they think.
The only way they could save this, which we're assuming it's not going to be that great, if they Peace Walker it, right? They make it as wacky as possible. Right?
You gotta lean into the stupid.
Sorry, Dalan. Peacemaker.
Yeah, I know you said Peace Walker. But yeah, they gotta lean into the stupid. Hey, even Metal Gear at some point leaned into the ridiculousness, and they realized what they had right after Part 1. They were like, we don't care if we got a random person that's got psycho powers and like a guy that doesn't die and a clone that you don't talk about no more. I don't care if my Metal Gear, my bipedal robot doesn't make sense in 1999. We're gonna do it. It's a bipedal walk clear tank.
They had Axel, man. What more do you want, dude? I mean, the genius of that character.
They had a card named Twister, and all you did was go on like its fender and just spin.
Hey, genius. All right? 1990s at X generation era stuff. Genius. All right. So
man, they can't translate that.
We're hyped about this. I hope you're hyped about this other thing. So there's a Nier Automata TV anime that got announced, Dalan. That's dropping. I didn't get too many details on this one. I don't know if you got some details on it, Dalan, but are you hyped about that one, the Nier Automata? I hope you don't have to watch the series like 7 times before you finally get the whole story of it.
You will. You'll have to watch each individual ending. They're gonna make it's gonna turn into Fate Stay Night, if you know what I mean.
I don't. But I really don't.
I know. And that was more for the anime people. Fate Stay Night has like 7 iterations of rebooting for itself.
We don't need to go down that rabbit hole, Dalan. What about Nier Automata, the TV anime?
Nier Automata, no, they're not gonna have multiple endings. They're just gonna have one flush story. But they might end up doing that thing where they tell it from different perspectives and different episodes. And I don't know if they're gonna do a good series, they got to make sure that the art is on point, because that's part of what Nier Automata was. Is that Automata, whatever, however you want to pronounce it?
You
people
can say however you want, Dalan. I mean, you can say, who's getting mad at you? Who is judging you?
I've had people judge me. Anyways, you judge me. You're a judger. You're also a troll. You're a troll. Good sir.
I'm just trying to move the show along, man. Are you hyped about Nier Automata, the TV anime series? They could do it justice, do you think?
Yeah, in the form of an anime, definitely. They could get as ridiculous as they want with that.
Luis, your thoughts, man, before we move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I had you touched on it earlier, but I had a friend come over and this past weekend, and we kind of chatted about it a little bit. And just before that, you sent to one of the group chats like, "Oh, hey, I hope I don't have to watch this like 3 times, like Dalan says when I have to play the game." And then he immediately was like, "Well, no, technically you don't have to play it 3 times." But then I was like, "All right, here we go."
Wait, this was your friend that said this, or
technically it's only one playthrough? But
it wasn't even me; it was somebody else.
It's like one of his favorite games of all time. So.
And Dale might be on that train too. Dale, you feel the same way about it, or are you gonna play?
Did you do it, Dale? Please tell me you did it.
No, I didn't. No, I don't have time for that.
Don't do it, dude.
Who has time to play it 3 times over? I don't.
Look
have
at
time.
what you've been playing, man.
You do.
He don't got time. He don't got time. Plus, he's got to figure out what's going on in the background, man. He got a new shipment of something. He's got to figure that out. He don't got time. You don't got time for that.
I'm seeing that.
I'll watch
over
it
there on the right.
I'll watch it. Oh yeah.
I said
I'll watch the anime, because if the anime is super sexy, I'll watch it. But like I can't spend 40 hours.
Don't do
playing
it.
This
hey man, it's Nier Automata, not Bayonetta. You gotta be careful what you say.
You gotta play it 7 times, dude.
7 times. Next thing on here, who doesn't want to play ball, is Nintendo. They're saying no Smash Brothers at EVO 2022. And the the whoever's putting it together, the organizers, I think that's correct, maybe. They're quickly threw Nintendo under the bus, right? They said, please join us March 8th at 5 p.m. PST on Twitch for the EVO 2022 announcement show. While we're thankful for all the amazing games joining us later this year in Las Vegas, we want to let you know in advance that Super Smash Bros. Will not be making a return appearance. Since 2007, we've seen historic Super Smash Bros. Moments created at EVO's event. We are saddened that Nintendo has chosen not to continue that legacy with us this year in the future. We hope to once again celebrate the Super Smash Bros. Community alongside them. One quick note before we get onto Dalan's brief soapbox, I hope, is that EVO is owned by Sony. I had forgotten about that. So I don't know if that's kind of a little shenanigans where Nintendo's like, you know what, we don't like Sony. We're competitors here. But Dalan, what are your thoughts on this? I saw what you put on there. Luke.
Okay, I'm I'm not gonna roll the soapbox down the hill. Don't worry.
I don't think it rolls. I think it's a box. It's not gonna roll.
No, I'm gonna roll it till the wheels fall off. We know this. Rip off. Anyways, the point I was gonna make is that when it comes to these types of games, EVO likes to change their mind each year anyway, and it does suck that Nintendo just decided that they were gonna do it, but. EVO has actually changed hands a few times, and every time it does, somebody always gets snubbed along the way, because King of Fighters used to be the most prevalent thing in EVO, and even though King of Fighters is still awesome, now we have way too many fighting games that people have jumped on, like Soul Calibur, which also got dropped from EVO. Then you got Tekken, which is awesome by itself. And what was it, Marvel vs. Capcom 3? It was up there for a little while. That got dropped. It just happens along the way. And in this case, Smash Brothers was there for so long that they hit this wall where they said, all right, we have every single character and we've done it multiple times. Are we going to see anything new next year? No, we've created no new mechanics or nothing like that. Just put in the new Guilty Gear and I'll be fine.
But we're saying Nintendo said like, do not have us involved with this. I think that's
Yeah,
a
I
separate
know.
thing. Then what you're saying is that it's a rotating basis, right?
But they don't need to. That's my point. They have that full right to say, no, we're not going to put in our game this year unless Nintendo makes a new fighting game that everybody's going to like.
I would assume
the only
like,
other
I
competition game they have is freaking what was it, Sploosh? What is the name of that game?
Okay,
Splatoon.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay,
Splatoon.
Damn, phrasing.
Talking about holes, man. You talking about holes?
I couldn't remember what it was called. Splatoon.
So this is I think Super Smash Bros is probably good because I think even for a general audience purposes, right? I would think people will tune in and understand. It's like, oh, this is Smash Bros. This is Mario, Sonic, and they kind of see them like it's like when you were a kid, you put all these toys together and just smash them against each other. So I think it's easy to understand versus the more technical fighters that they kind of focus on, right, on the other games. So it's just the fact that Nintendo's like, no, we're taking our ball and going home with this. Dale,
it's okay. It's not a real fighting game.
Well, I mean, that's kind of there's a
don't
massive
say that
deal.
to a lot of people.
Okay, Dalan. Good thing you're not on camera, Dan. They can't see you. They can hear you. They can't see you. Dale, your thoughts on this, man? It's like Nintendo's like, no.
This is a long time coming where Nintendo just does not care about the Smash community. It's been for the longest time that like the Smash community has been begging Nintendo to have like an official tournament or an official like capacity to like for their online play for the fighting game, or hold tournaments at like their they have like a store in like New York. Like a Nintendo store. They want them to have this there, but like Nintendo refuses to do this, and it's so weird that they just refuse to accept that like this game is popular around the world, and having it being highlighted one of the like grand final games in the Evo tournament is like a huge showing. Like I think the last two grand finals for Evo, a lot more viewership went towards Smash Brothers compared to Street Fighter 5.
Yeah,
and that's because like the community is big.
Well,
and they've been waiting for that moment for a long,
it's just so
time.
Mass market too, right? Like I can tune
it's
in.
The appeal is crazy because you have so many characters from so many genres of games and franchises.
Now Nintendo does have their own like fighting thing. I didn't put it on the notes here, but they do have their own thing. Even when I read it, I was like, I never heard of this crap. Do you think that's part of it, Dale? That they're kind of like, we have our own thing that we're gonna put on at some point.
It's like three. It's like, to me, it's like two things. One is that Nintendo wants to distance itself from Evo because Evo has a lot of like if you didn't read what happened last 2 years, the reason why Sony owns it now is because the CEO of Evo was doing some criminal stuff, like really bad stuff. Okay. And so he was ousted, and a lot of the upper management was ousted. So then they were willing to sell, or at least have someone like ask for like a life preserver for them. So Sony jumped in for that because they have a vested interest into it. They want
in a way,
Sony has
their
like
name
all the
synonymous
fighting
with fighting
games.
games. Exactly, they want their name synonymous with fighting games and the genre in general.
So you think
that's why they have like
Nintendo
Guilty Gear on their side.
Is trying to kind of keep their hands clean, I suppose, in a way, and they're like, yeah, you know what, that's
a little bit.
And it's Sony.
The
right?
weird,
It's Sony.
Right.
Nintendo
The weird thing
could
is
run their own championships
exactly.
if they want
They
to.
could totally
They could do a Bomberman championship. They could do a Mario Kart championship.
They could do like Tetris 99 championships and everything. They do
no,
it for them. Why can't they? Well, why can't they do it for Smash? Smash is
because they can't even do local gameplay for Tetris.
Battle Royale, Dalan.
They just signed up for the internet for AOL like last year, but I don't know. The weird thing is that like Evo isn't the only tournament out there. There's a lot of other tournaments out there. There's Kumite, there's Combo Breaker, which happens in like May. So this
Did you really just say Kumite?
Yeah.
Let him say words, Dalan.
He just threw Bloodsport at me. I was like, no.
Oh,
there's a real legit Kumite tournament.
You can't challenge Dalan with the lore, man. He's gonna catch you. He's gonna catch you with the lore.
Dude. Sharp ass ears, man.
So we'll wrap it up in a nice bow here as far as Evo is concerned. Luis, your thoughts on this Evo situation, man? What do you?
I didn't have any thoughts. All those were just for the rundown to make you rip Sonic headgear guy. There you go.
There you go. And apparently Sony doesn't have that Nintendo DNA, right? That's kind of what you
really don't.
Well, we'll see what happens with Evo. No Smash Brothers, and like we were just mentioning, Nintendo has their own thing. And Dale, you make some good points, man. Why not a Tetris? Why not do what they did in the Wizard, right? But in real IRL 2022, right?
Kumite.
Well, and we'll end it on this last one as far as Salient Points is concerned. So Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, quote, undershot our initial expectations, end quote, to Square Enix. And they said that to Eurogamer, or at least I got it from Eurogamer. But I did pick that game up. I picked it up for like $2.75 or something. I basically got it for that low amount. So I will be getting around to it. But it's kind of a big franchise, or it's like a big thing, right? The movies was huge. You would think people would be
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is a big franchise.
Well, yeah. See, there you go. So you agree, right? That it's a huge thing. You would think maybe it doesn't feature the main guy, forget the actor's name, right? But maybe because it doesn't feature Chris Pratt. But you would think, right, it would sell more than it does. Dalan,
he was too busy voiceovering Mario. That's what he was doing.
That's what happened. On this one.
But as for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it was just the fact that a number of people didn't know what to really expect from the game, because we're used to like Marvel games having a lot of action and just like from start to finish, just nothing but action packed, get moves and go do stuff. This was like their first real set out to do an RPG for Marvel. I mean, I can't think of any other game that was even this close to being
Avengers, right? Avengers was kind of like Marvel's Avengers.
It wasn't.
What? Wait, what happened? It was sort of an RPG, kind of. Didn't you level on that? You sort of leveled, and they were expecting like Destiny-ish type of gameplay. I'm not saying it was great. I'm not saying it's as good as this one, because this one apparently got some decent reviews, right? But I feel like that was their first step into like we're making sort of an RPG or a cooperative experience type of thing. But this one's like was fully single player campaign, right? Like a single player RPG.
Yeah, I felt it would be more Final Fantasy in this particular instance. And when I say Final Fantasy, I mean 15. Because even in Final Fantasy 15, you still roamed with 4 characters and you were out there battling. You could switch between your characters. And I felt that's what Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be. And it turns out that's pretty much exactly what it was. But that's still an RPG for like people that really like those types of games. When you go in expecting just like straight action adventure, I don't have to make a bunch of choices, let's just progress the story the whole freaking time, that's when you get those jarheads that like what was it, X-Men Legends or whatever it was. People loved X-Men Legends.
Who are these? You call someone jarhead, Dalan? Did you hit people up right now? Who are jarheads? Oh, damn. Okay, Dalan.
The entire Marine Corps for some reason just got hit up.
Yeah, I did.
Got hit up. Good job, Dalan.
Hey, man, Semper Fi, but
damn.
Broaden your horizons. That's what I'm saying.
Luis, you got a couple thoughts on this, man, and then we'll move on to like.
They can't blame me, dude. I bought it. I haven't played it.
I bought it.
I bought it. So they got my money, dude. They got my money. I'll get to it.
I did the same thing. I bought it for about like $3.75 or something, a very cheap price. So maybe I'm part of the problem.
Hey, I planned to buy it, and then somebody told me they were gonna buy it for me for Christmas, so they told me not to buy it, and then I ended up not buying it, and then I ended up not getting it. So. Here I am.
I hope you can get yourself out of that pretzel in time for the next episode, Dalan. That's been Salient Points. I'm Carlos Macias, the Master Ceremonies here. Dalan Kirkwood up in the mountains. Thank you, sir.
Rip-off artists all the way across.
Still on that soapbox. Dale Blas, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
And then we got Luis Mendez on the Wheels of Steel. And stay tuned. We got What You've Been Playing on the next episode.